For those of you who can't figure out where I'm at, I'm in front of the old 76 Tavern in Tappan, New York. Now, Malcolm, why are you here in front of this bar and restaurant, which was erected in like 1767 or something, and is America's oldest tavern? Why are you here? To talk about Elon Musk, of course, because as many of you know, I got into a tiff with Elon Musk the other day after he had written in response to an article that he had turned off Starlink for the Ukrainian army because he didn't want to start an atomic war, and that cut off some of their communications with their intelligence people operating in or around Crimea, and would also disable internet connectivity for some drone boats that the Ukrainian army was using. A lot of these people said, you have an American billionaire, even though he was born overseas, he's an immigrant, who came here and using resources on a contract for the United States government, even though he had donated some Starlink, it was actually paid by the U.S. Department of Defense, and cut off a capability of a U.S. ally what they needed critically in order to appease his Russian friends. Now, we don't actually know if they're Russian friends, but we do know Elon Musk does have, in some way, shape, or form, a communication with the Kremlin that he took advantage of. So he cut off the Starlink access so that Ukrainian weapon systems, Ukrainian drones would not strike the Russians in Crimea. He's even given a nod to the Russians and saying that Crimea is Russia, which it is not. It is an occupied territory stolen by the Russians in 2014 and taken from Ukraine. Elon Musk showed some sensitivity to this. And he showed sensitivity in the form of a tweet where he said people shouldn't call him a traitor because he was born in America, or he not born in America. We all know he's born in Pretoria, South Africa, but that he came to the United States, he is an American citizen, and that he will fight and die in America, and that people shouldn't call him a traitor. Well, interesting fact, he did not say he would fight and die for America, like those of us in the armed forces of the United States or the U.S. intelligence community who have done this and pledged our lives to the defense and love of our country and its interests. Oh, Malcolm, what are our interests? Well, how about keeping the Ukrainians from being eliminated by the Russians by, I don't know, enabling their internet-driven drones and destroying the Russian Navy fleet in Sevastopol? That's in America's interest. But not for Elon Musk, since he is what I call a lazy Bond villain. He wants to influence things in politics in the world, and based on what the Russians told him, he cut off this capability because he didn't want an atomic war. He didn't want a nuclear war between America and Russia. Well, the only people that are talking that smack are the Russians. There isn't going to be any nuclear war. And if he's, as a billionaire, doesn't have enough smart people around him to tell him that, other than that idiot Kim.com and some Malaysian kid in a basement in Kuala Lumpur, Miles Ian Chiang, and the other people he considers national security experts, who are just a bunch of trolls on the internet, on X, his version of Twitter, then he shouldn't be a billionaire. But more importantly, he should understand that we think that he is a treason weasel for the purposes that he is using these resources to harm a U.S. ally in their greatest time of need. Wow, Malcolm, that's a fascinating story, but you still haven't explained why you're at the 76 Tavern in Tappan, New York. Well, the 76 Tavern, if you can see that sign behind me, this is where Major Andre, the British intelligence officer who turned Benedict Arnold, or handled Benedict Arnold after he became a traitor to the British, this is where he was tried. Now, he was a British intelligence officer in civilian clothes. He was executed as a spy. I'm not saying anybody here needs to be executed. I'm just at a famous place where it was identified through trial that treason occurred. I'm not saying that even Elon Musk is a traitor, because treason is the only actual crime listed in the Constitution of the United States that has very specific guidelines. One, we must be at war with somebody. And granted, Elon did identify that we are not at war with Russia, but that's just you being legalistic, as a lazy Bond villain would be. The common parlance of somebody that betrays his own country and his interests is, in my words and my humble opinion, a treason weasel. And Elon Musk, you're going to stay there forever. No one wants to buy your Teslas. If we could get SpaceX off contract or get you out of that job, the United States government would definitely do that. But you know what? You think that just because you own these assets doesn't mean that you have a moral commitment to the United States. You do. And we're going to hold you to it every time you do something stupid. So that's it from Black Man Spy.